Hey everyone, welcome to the Four Competitors Only podcast. I'm Ben. I'm the host this evening, along with D'Lo, Chris, and Miles. The Miami Heat regular season is finally over, so we are going to hand out some awards to the team. Let us know who our MVP is, Defensive Player of the Year, and so on. We're also going to talk about the play-in. Yes, the play-in. The Miami Heat are back as the play-in team of the 8th seed. They are going into Philly on Wednesday night, so we're going to talk about the keys to winning there so that we can secure the 7th seed. If not, we host the game on Friday night against either the Bulls or the Hawks as the 8th seed, which we don't want to repeat again. But we'll get into all of that tonight with you here. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments. We will answer them along the way. But another Miami Heat regular season is over with. Finishes the 8th, so one worse than last year. But again, we could finish as the 7th with the new play-in roles. But we have to talk about awards. It was an interesting season. I think we all were hoping for a little bit better of a result. We lost some games we should have won. And now it's playoff time, though, where the Heat thrive. So let's get into some awards. And maybe we'll start from the bottom up as far as the awards. Let's go with six man of the year. MVP for last. So there's a lot of great candidates for six man of the year. How many rotations? 38, 40 different starting that we go with. So anybody on the Heat roster could technically be a six man of the year. But let's go D'Lo. Who's your six man of the year and why?
I will have to split this award into two places. We couldn't get a lot of consistency this year, but I would like to award co-six man to Jaime and Kevin Love. Jaime, you get it for the first half. Kevin, you get it for the second. Jaime, you would have got it firstly just off rip, but you did hit that wall. I can't blame you. You did what you could, man. Jaime did great, amazing. Like for the first half of the season, it was just like if it wasn't for two 7-foot generational players, this is your rookie of the year. Like, what are we talking about here? Indeed. Like, example model player, like was showing flashes of a multi-year veteran off rip, just off his first year. Good footwork, good touch off the glass, good touch off everything. He's a great player. To the wall hit him. Now he's just your lovely Jaime Jaquez, but we love him very dearly. Kevin Love, you deserve it greatly. As an older player, he did everything we didn't do. He could shoot, he could space the floor, rebound, all the good stuff, even defend here and there. So those are my two guys who get co-six man of the year.
Okay.
Hard to disagree with that.
Well, in my opinion, this sixth man of the year probably has to go to either Kevin Love or Caleb Martin this season. Honestly, because both of them carried whenever either Jimmy was out or Hero, and they just did phenomenal off the bench. Like Kevin Love at 35 years old, and he's still doing that off the bench. Like it's crazy, And Caleb Martin still played decent, not obviously ECF Martin, but he provided something for us.
It's playoff Caleb, right? If we got playoff Jimmy, we got playoff Caleb.
You got playoff Caleb, exactly.
Yeah. All right, Miles, where are we going with this award?
With the sixth man of the year, I would probably lean Caleb Martin. He was in the starting lineup a lot for us last year, and with Jovic evolving, he kind of took a back seat and played the backup four. So I think he came in with a lot of intensity. Games where guys were scoring on us left and right. He comes in, kind of guards the best player on the team. Did a really good job of that. His shooting, it can be inconsistent sometimes, but it was pretty good, especially down here at the stretch. His energy, get some crazy dunks, Mount Caleb. So I'll give the sixth man of the year to Caleb Martin, but Jaime Jaquez is definitely an honorable mention. Like D'Lo said, he kind of just hit that wall without Wemby and Chet. He almost would be, rookie of the year. But he's always great off the bench. He comes right in for Jimmy and kind of keeps the pace going, running some offense through Jaime has really helped us out. Like we talked about last episode, getting him on the block, running plays for him. So I'll give it to Martin, but honorable mention Jaime, and I think those two guys off the bench are going to be huge for us in the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think the six man was the hardest to pick because you could go so many ways.
Yeah.
I'm giving it to Jaime Jaquez. I think he had a great year. He's been struggling lately, but I think he'll come alive. You talk about him, 12 points per game. That ranks top 12 for the Heat of all time out of rookies. That's better than Ronnie Cycli did in his first year. Chalmers, Haslam, Bam, Norris, Cole, Josh Richardson, Justice Winslow, you name them. There's not many guys that scored more than him in his first season of rookie. Of course, the best being Dwayne Wade. But I think that says a lot about a guy who was a senior coming in, played his whole career at UCLA, and jumped right into Heat culture and just strive. That's tough to do. There's guys that like Jovic, guys like that haven't been able to do that yet, and he did. So I'm going with him with an honorable mention to Haywood Highsmith. I think overall he was a great asset this season. He played really good minutes. He was hitting the three ball good late. And of course, Caleb Martin gets an honorable mention as well. But I'm going Jaquez. I think D'Lo's got a comment on that.
I do. Also, it's good to see that Spo really hasn't trusted a rookie with this much leash as he has with Jaime. I mean, I guess you could say he did with Tyler too, but Jaime's leash is long. He'll give Jaime 30 minutes a game just because he feels like it. But that was just my small comment.
No, you're right. I mean, Bam didn't get much. Of course, he was behind Whiteside, who was our star, but still, even behind him, didn't get much playing time. And other guys I mentioned, Haslam, Chalmers, Justice Winslow. I mean, Winslow was supposed to be our next Dwayne Wade, right? And not even him. So I'm glad that Spo gives him some faith. Obviously, we can go deep, and in the playoffs, you're going to need an 8-9 man rotation. You have to cut it down a little bit game by game. But I do believe Jaime will be seventh man coming off. That's why he gets the award for me. Now let's jump to most improved player. It could be a lot of names as well this season. We talk about six man. It's probably going to be a lot of those guys in the same category. Miles, I'm interested to see where you're going here with your most improved player of the year.
Wow, it's really tough between two guys. Nikola Jovic, coming from the G League in the beginning of the season to starting as our power forward next to Bam, putting in the work. His shooting has been great, and he's really good to the drive. I mean, when he cuts and we feed him, he's up there long, getting the layups. Almost looks like he's going to dunk it every time and just lays it in. So Jovic, I think, has been definitely the most improved from a player growth and development standpoint. I also definitely want to mention Duncan Robinson. They look at him as just a pure shooter, but now he's putting the ball on the floor, running the pick and roll with Bam, making great passes, and his defense has also improved. Not fouling as much. They can put on a little bit of muscle. Him and Tyler, that helped out with their defense tremendously. So I would give it to Jovic, but definitely a strong candidate for Duncan Robinson as well, with the way his game kind of developed and what he's turned into. But Jovic, with the growth from G League to starting four for us, I think he deserves it.
I agree. And we're going to welcome Yadek. He has joined us live too. So good to have you, man.
Great to be here, man. It's been a minute. Minute. Happy to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, it's been a hot minute, but we're always glad to have you. We were just discussing our sixth man of the year. We all went around the table. D'Lo was saying Jaime Jaquez and Kevin Love. Chris went with Caleb Martin, and Miles is in agreement with Caleb Martin. Who would you have as your sixth man of the year?
I think the first person that definitely comes into mind would be Kevin Love. Obviously, he's been a tremendous impact. I think he started as a starter, and now he's been coming off the bench, and I feel like he's been doing what we need him to do, basically. And a guy that could stretch the floor, rebounds as good as best as he can. Obviously, he's not in his prime, but he's still a great rebounder, a great playmaker as well. So, you still don't see that from people, especially around his age 35, still being as productive as ever. Not LeBron level, obviously, but it's still, is still something that the Heat definitely needs. He's the size that we are still lacking to have, but it's size in itself. Jaime has been doing a good job himself too. Obviously, he's still readjusting from when Jimmy wasn't here, and when Jimmy wasn't here, he was averaging a good amount of points, but at the same time, that was when he was a starter. As a bench player, he's still, I guess, trying to find his identity in this team. There's stretches where he goes with big games, and the stretches where he doesn't show that much in the stat books. But obviously, in this role that he has, and especially coming into this play-in game that we have on Wednesday, I don't think stats is just going to be his thing for now. Especially when we have so much star power, he's going to do whatever the team needs him to do, and from time to time, he's definitely going to get his points. He's going to get his steals. He's going to get his dunks, all that stuff. But right now, he still has a lot ways to go, and I'm sure he's going to develop to a great player for our culture and our team right now. So, but right now, I want to give it to Kevin Love, who's been electric from the bench, who shows multiple ways to help this team out, even from as small as a charge that hasn't been as much in this team this year. I'll give it to Kevin Love.
Yeah, that veteran leadership is needed on a team like this, and he brings it. So I give props to Kevin Love as well. So we jumped into most improved player. Miles is saying Nikola Jovic, and I 100% agree with him. He's getting the award for most improved for me. Obviously, Spo's trusted him now in the starting lineup, and he has been shooting the ball very well, playing good defense, getting rebounds. He's improved points per game. Rebounds were doubled for him, little by little, not a huge jump, but from 2 to 4 and then 5 to almost 8 points per game. Obviously getting more minutes this year. But one thing to think about that when I saw, I was really shocked, was he's shooting the ball. He's our best 3-point percentage shooter right now for the attempts that he's taken, 40% from 3. When I saw that stat, I was shocked. That's top 42 in the NBA right now, rather than Tyler Hero, Derek White, Duncan Robinson, guys like that we're used to. So really improving on that 3 ball. And for a guy his size, you don't really see that too often. So I'm going as well with the sophomore Nikola Jovic. He has really improved a lot. But D'Lo shaking his head. He might have somebody else on that list.
Whoa. Zilch, zero, nada. That is a happy dance. Y'all know who I'm going with. The main boy, Undertaker, Nikola Jovic, man. You can see the hard work he's put in this season, dude. You know, all like he said last year, and all I want to do is play, man. That's it. Have me do whatever you need me to do, Spo. All I want to do is play. And shoot, I don't know what he was doing different from last year to now, but hey, it's working. Obviously, it's the improved defense. The man couldn't guard a rock and water last season, but you know he's dependable now. You know, deployable. Throw him out there, he'll do what he do. You know, we won't get into a Dwayne Dedman kind of hole. So with Bam being on the bench, you know, if you know, you know. But yeah, I hear my boy Nico. He worked real hard this year. One of our best snipers. Could do literally A through Z on the court. I mean, the man could do it all, and he's 6'10", 20 years old. Like we have way more upside than not right now. Future's bright, so that's why he gets it.
For sure. Chris Yadek, I mean, are we all going there, or is there a shakeup here for the most improved player?
I would go Jovic, but I think I'm gonna have to give it to Duncan Robinson just because he became he went from unplayable to playable now.
Hold on, before you start, I'm sorry to tell you, but you have to have an untrained eye, okay? My boy D Rob has been doing this since his second year, not his first one, his second. All right. He's been doing this for a long time, man. It's just come to spotlight now because we have nobody else who can do it. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah,
no, man. Max Strus is holding him back. I'm just saying. It's literally insane. But I'm just glad
he wasn't a better player than him at all whatsoever.
No, not at all. I'm just glad he's back to normal now and just being better. he's actually playable on the team on both sides of the floor, which is awesome.
Hey, Duncan was my second choice for the most improved because I do
sure.
think that you said it best, playable, right? There's times
Mhm.
where Duncan's on the court, and obviously people are going to expose his poor defense.
Yeah.
Still not where it should be, but it's definitely not where it was. So I do agree that Duncan is deserving of that as well. He was my second choice. All right, Deck, we go back to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna back up what Chris said. Basically, I remember last year where he was having issues being in the court and was not even being played most of the time. If I'm not mistaken, he wasn't getting the PT he usually gets from 2 years before, and last year it was very weird for him in the spot that he was. We had a lot of talented players, and fortunately, he wasn't in the rotation much. I think he more likely showed up in the playoffs. They gave him more PT in the playoffs, but throughout the regular season, this is a regular season award, and he wasn't getting it much. Obviously, the time. This year, it was a whole change of scenery. Obviously, he got in his bag. You seen him cross it. I think did he cross a Wemby in this one play, or it was like this one of these plays. It was a
Nice
crazy
one.
move. The Kenny Smith move he did on somebody, which was insane.
Mhm.
Anyways, he's no longer just a 3-point guy, man. You see him multiple times going in for them layups, creating his own moves off the pick and roll and it's like you said, just not threes. We knew his pick and roll with Bam was effective, but now they figured out, hey man, he's gonna give it to Bam. Let him. He's not gonna shoot. He's not gonna do anything off of it. He's only gonna shoot a three. Just cover the three and let him do his and hope he does something else. As you could tell, he's been working on his mid range. He's been working on his inside game. It's beautiful to see. It's been helping the Heat. You could tell sometimes. He's gonna have a shaky game here and there, and that just that's part of how it goes. Not everybody's gonna be having perfect nights. Uh, Jokic, man, you can't really Jovic. My fault. You can't really say no to him, man. He's a really great player. Sophomore year, even becoming better. This is not the best we see of Jovic yet, man. We know we're gonna see even better. This man is a force to be reckoned with. I'm glad he's on the Heat team, man. Even when I heard about him first time, I was excited. I heard the scouting report, everything like that. You can a 6'10" guard basically in my eyes because he can handle that rock. You know what I'm saying? And that's something the Heat needs to push that tempo to get something going, man. So hats off to Jovic on a great season. He's been doing great in 2024. But if you can't deny what Duncan Robinson has improved very well this year and becoming a threat, becoming part of the scouting report, not only for the 3-point shot, but for everything else, man. You can't just look Duncan Robinson as a 3-point shooter no more. They gotta do something about him where he can go off, man. And that's a weapon that this Heat team needs if we're gonna go on a long run in this playoff, man. We're gonna have this quote unquote Cinderella story again, man. Which I don't believe that's the case, man. I believe this is a team that still has enough pieces to go for it and do something good in this playoff. So, hats off to Jovic, but I'm going with Duncan Robinson as my most improved player of the year for the Miami Heat.
Yeah, Duncan Robinson, Nikola Jovic, you get the award, most improved player. Congratulations. We will hand you that fake award. D'Lo, you're excited. Your man is getting something. So let's jump to the last two categories. Let's go defensive player of the year. I think this is a smaller list that there's a man on here that's well deserving of that, and not just on our team, but in the whole NBA.
The entire league.
The entire league. That's why I'm going Bam Adebayo as my defensive player of the year. He has one of the best defensive ratings in the NBA, the best on our team. So I'm not going to take much time and just say give it to Bam.
Come on, man. We're going to keep it real short and simple here, guys. We all know who it is. Of course, it's Bam. The best. I'm not going to go that far, but come on, man.
Nah, man. D'Lo, go far, man. You know what he is, man. You know what he is, D'Lo.
The best player on this team, man. The number one option in my eyes, Bam Adebayo, man. Can anchor the defense, can come back on the offensive end and do what he needs to do, man.
Most
Bam
definitely.
Adebayo is our literal livelihood, man. If we want to go anywhere in this playoffs, he has to have a good game every single night, man. Unless Jimmy Butler drop 40, Bam gotta have an amazing game every night. So defensive player of the year, of course, it goes man. One of the only people in the league at 6'9" that could guard 1 through 5 effortlessly. It's not a struggle neither. It's not like he looks like a deer or something. No, it's a good guard. All right. I rest my case.
Does
Yeah, man.
does
Just like
anybody disagree?
there's no way we could disagree with this man.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that he hasn't even he competed for a DPOI, but he has not really been in the conversation for some odd reason. They keep on looking at players like Rudy Gobert, who is a good interior defender, but not a good perimeter defender at all. So then they keep on looking at other people. Wemby had a great rookie year, and it's all deserving why he has all eyes on him. But you got to look at somebody that has been in the league and been putting people in prison, basically, man. They've been locking people up. People don't want to go against him. There's a reason why he's going to play for Team USA, man. It's not just because the glamour and flair and everything like that. It's Bam, man. Locking up 1-5. He's gonna do good things for the Heat this playoff, and I know he's gonna do good things for USA, man. Team USA is going on top this year too.
That's right.
Yeah, congrats to Bam on that award in itself and getting selected. Only 12 players get selected, and being one of them is an honor. So congrats to Bam on that. Chris Miles, is it Bam or Miles, or is somebody else deserving of it?
Well, of course, it's Bam Adebayo. I think one of the best defensive players in the league, if not the best. You guys talked about guarding 1-5, how huge that is. It gives us the ability to switch everything and not have to get stuck over screens and worried about rotations. Just switch. He does a great job guarding all the best ball handlers. We're really going to need him against Embiid here on Wednesday. So I think he has a big moment to prove himself. I was looking at a stat earlier of Embiid's games versus Bam Adebayo, and all of his averages are down. So props to him. He's the heart and soul of our team. I do real quick want to mention, of course, not Defensive Player of the Year, but I think DeLon Wright can come in these playoffs and provide us with some much-needed perimeter defense, especially against Tyrese Maxey on Wednesday. It's looking like we may be without Terry Rozier, so it's going to definitely give him a big opportunity to come in, match the quickness that Maxey has. Can't let him go for 30 points again, that's for sure. So hopefully DeLon Wright can come in and provide us with some much-needed defense there. DeLon Wright on Maxey, Bam on Embiid, Jimmy on Tobias. We love that rivalry. So I think that's going to be huge.
Yeah. Chris, I think
yeah. Y'all said everything.
We said it all, right?
Yeah, he's literally the best defender in the league, He's going to carry us to the finals again, and hopefully he wins his finals MVP.
Chris, can you say that one more time about Bam? Your first comment. Can you just repeat that?
Just best defender in the league?
Yeah, one more time. Just one.
The best defender in the league?
Thank you.
Bam Adebayo, Defensive Player of the Year, unanimous for the Miami Heat. And now let's go to our MVP. So, again, maybe a short list here for MVP. But Chris, Miles, let's start with you guys first. Chris, back to you. Who is the Miami Heat 23-24 MVP?
I think it's got to be Bam Adebayo. Without him this season, this team would be terrible. It would be terrible. He's literally anchoring the defense throughout the whole season and just literally stopping everyone. And I mean, you could say it's Jimmy Butler, but Jimmy Butler, he just doesn't he's not up in that level. This is 3-time All-Star Bam Adebayo that played this year. And it's 3-time. Exactly, 3-time. I am so proud to have him on this team, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. If it's a one-man MVP, I think I do give it to Bam Adebayo. He's remained healthy. Jimmy missed some time, and even when Jimmy was healthy, the defense that Bam's providing us with is off the charts. His passing's looking better than ever. Just giving it to him in the post, letting him go to work. So, again, heart and soul of our team. I think that's worthy of the most valuable player for us. But Regular season was great and all, but these playoffs are here now. It's going to be Jim VP and coming here in the playoffs. He's going to have to go nuclear, like he said he will, for us to compete with these high-level teams like Boston and even Philly on Wednesday, New York, if we win that game. So, I mean, I think Jimmy's going to be our MVP coming down in the playoffs. But for the regular season, I will give it to Bam Adebayo. Of course, I think he's going to be able to continue to be great. But Jimmy Butler, you got to take us there at 22. So, I'll do it.
D'Lo, Yadek, it's Bam, Bam. We're going Bam everywhere. Who's the MVP?
Let me get one more Bam in there. Throw my hat for Bam Adebayo. My only doubt is, dude, like, there's nothing you can say about Bam. He started shooting threes this year. Like, the man is unstoppable now. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, the only downside I can have for Bam, this is more of like a personal peeve, is he switches too much. Like, there'll be a matchup where he perfectly can drop back, let the guard do what he needs to do, let the player pick up, and he can still get the big man. Like, he'll have Tyler as the switcher, and he'll just let Tyler Hero get Clint Capella just so he can guard Trae Young. Like, that's the only thing that makes me upset. I'm like, dude, how do you have this much IQ, but you can't see that you cannot switch that right now? Like, you cannot. But that's the only thing I don't like about Bam. He switches too much sometimes. Like, he has too much faith in his teammates. Sometimes you just need to push him over the screen and just drop back a little bit, buddy. That's all I'm saying. But other than that, the man's a flawless player. Impeccable defense, can shoot the three ball, has a good midi, obviously a great inside player. Defense, I mean, nothing else needs to be said. That is all.
Yeah, man. Right what everybody basically said. Bam is number one for me. Has been one of the most healthiest player for our team. You only could say one thing about it, and I've kind of noticed it's a little bit is the aggressiveness is there. You know what I'm saying? I feel like even though we all say he's MVP, I feel like he doesn't know he's MVP sometimes, and I feel like he should be the guy that takes over the game at times because I honestly don't believe nobody could like stop this guy if he really is determined to do what he wants. I feel like if he puts that mindset in him, I know everybody. I feel like his teammates are telling him that, but he just wants to let everybody shine at the same time. You know what I'm saying? We know that what Jimmy could do in the playoffs, but we know that Bam's able to be part of that, could reciprocate that. You know, there has been games where I don't think Bam has been as aggressive as we know he can be. You know what I'm saying? There's games where, as the big man of the team, not grabbing all the boards he should be grabbing, and you know it could be fine sometimes if if it ends up to a win. But he just got to let people know that he's there. He's always going to be there, and you know he does that. I'm not saying he never does. I'm saying he does. He does most of the time. But when he doesn't, it just, you know, it doesn't help our team as much as when he does it. You feel me? So like, the more Bam we get, the more we succeed. Basically, I don't see us losing if Bam's the one that is letting the other team know that you can't guard me. Basically, man, we know what Bam's capable of, and that's our MVP. And I don't see any other argument why he shouldn't be MVP. Basically, I can't wait to see what he does in tomorrow. I can't see what he does when we get in that playoff because I know and fully trust my team is going to get in that playoff position and make a run.
Yeah, I mean, hey, there's a reason that just last week I dropped money on this jersey, right? That Heat culture number 13. Bam.
Nice.
You know, Jimmy's is right there, but there's a reason for Bam to get it, and he's deserving of it, of the team MVP for the 2023-2024 season. Yadek Miles, you said it best. He has been the healthiest on the team. And when you have Jimmy that's played about half the season, Tyler that's played about half the season, that's not what the most valuable means. If we don't win a lot of these games because of Bam, if Bam was, you know, injured as well, we don't win these games. We're not in this position. We might be a 9-10. So obviously, if we have a healthy Jimmy, a healthy Tyler all season, we're not in the play-in situation. But here's where we're at. And it could be a lot worse if it's not for Bam. A career high in rebounds, 10.4 for himself. This is his third season averaging a double-double. Points went down a point, but nothing nothing insane. He's still averaging the double-double. And now you add that three-pointer to his arsenal and just the toughness in his play on both sides of the ball. That is why Bam Adebayo, in all agreement, is our defensive player and our most valuable player for the Heat this season. So easy, simple as that.
Yeah, for sure.
Simple as that, and well deserving.
Small tangent, just a teeny tangent. Yeah, our defense looked absolutely in shambles without Bam. Every time he doesn't play, like you can just see everybody moves different. Like they just don't know what the game plan is anymore when Bam isn't on the floor. Like you can tell this team literally runs through Bam Adebayo, dude. Like literally half the game, he's taking the ball up the court. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, he can play it all. He's got the good ball handling too. So I mean, you can trust him everywhere on the court, and that's why he's the most valuable. But real briefly, before we get to the play-in preview, we got a little bit of time left here. Let's just go through and give a rating of what we thought the Heat regular season was. So like A through F, pluses and minuses. What do you grade the Heat season and why? Let's go, Miles. Where are you thinking here?
I would have to give it a B plus. The reason why I do give it a B plus rather than maybe a B minus or a B is just because we've dealt with so many injuries to our key guys, missing Jimmy for almost half the year, missing Tyler for almost half the year, and now missing Terry at the end stretch like that. So I'll give it a B plus. I still think we played good, basically the same record as last year. Spo was, just as good, being able to find these rotations. I think we had the most starting lineups in the league besides like the Grizzlies and the Hornets with all their, tanking and everything. So the adversity we faced and went through, I still give our guys credit for where we sit today. I'll give it a solid B plus. That's definitely going to improve depending on how we play in the playoffs. But for regular season, B plus. I think we're going in pretty confident. Hero's looking confident coming back. Jimmy's ready to take over. We know that. Bam, heart and soul, like we've been saying. Role guys, Jaime, Caleb. Everyone's been kind of stepping up recently. Jovic, of course. So I'll give it a B plus just because the adversity we had to go through, the lineups, and the injuries. But pretty solid. B plus in my eyes.
All right.
I like you, boss. You're a real generous guy.
Are you doing worse, D'Lo?
Oh, without a doubt. I'll go later. Go ahead.
All right. Yadek, where are you going?
I kind of agree with D'Lo a little bit. With the going a little lower. We definitely missed on getting Dame in the regular season, which kind of hurt, but we still had a decent team at the same time. And then, with the addition of Terry Rozier, and I understand the injuries held our record a little bit, but we just missed a lot of games, in my opinion, that we should have won. Even and these quote unquote trap games where teams didn't have their best players, or there's teams that were just not supposed to compete with us, did compete with us, and there was just a bunch of games that we could have won, and that could have led us not to be in this play-in. And, it could be frustrating sometimes when you're a Heat fan and watching all these games. And this year, I'm not going to lie, I wasn't watching as much as I normally watch because of work and things of that nature. But I did expect my team to be our team. I expected our team to be a little more better. You know what I'm saying? We did come out of a finals run. We practically had the same team, yet we lost a few players. We gained some players too, but, you just expect it to be a little more better. So you I wouldn't say disappointed, but you would say you just expected more from this team. And it's not like it's any down for our players. I think they did a good job overall. I think we did okay for what we had, but as a Heat fan and a team that is always going to compete and are going to be sneaking contenders to the eyes of the media, I feel like we could have done a little more than what we did this year. So hats off to what they did, though. You know what I'm saying? They still made it to the play-ins. A few years back, this would have just been regular playoffs, and we could have, lived off of that. But, we still got work to do. We're not officially in the playoffs. I know we are going to be, but, it kind of hurts that we're not, a little higher than what I expected, And that just coming from a Heat fan that's been watching for a lot of years, a team that's at one point been in the first seed too. So even I know things change over the years, but at this point we can't just complain anymore. We just gotta work with what we got, and I just can't wait at the end of the day.
All right, so a little bit lower than the B.
Oh yeah, the grade itself, my fault. It would be around. I'll say C. I'll say C. Maybe just keep it at C. Keep it at C.
C. All right, so a big drop there. Chris, are you in between? You're agreeing one way or the
I
other?
think I'm in between, honestly, because I'll give them a B minus. I know we didn't do much in the off season, right? Like, I don't know. Coming off the finals run, you're supposed to do something in order to go over that hump, but we ended up just getting 3 more wins than our previous record from last year. And what I liked is the addition of Terry Rozier. That's what put my grade up just a bit more, just because of getting him. And we finally found like our point guard of the future, I guess you can say. But we just couldn't stay healthy. Like, that was the problem. And yeah, like that's why I gave it a B minus. Pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, D'Lo, I think he's got a rant coming, so I'll jump.
Yeah,
in, but I'm close. I'm close to the C plus B minus. Obviously the start of the season, not getting Damian Lillard, who said, "I want to be in Miami, and I'm not going to play anywhere else but Miami," and not getting him hurt a lot. Now, how much of it was Miami's fault compared to Portland not wanting to deal him? I think that's where you have to kind of put consideration in. I think that Miami could have offered a better trade offer, but it's just Portland didn't want to deal with Miami, and they didn't want to fulfill Damian Lillard's request and go to where he wants. There's no trade clause. They don't have to. So just disappointing there. And we definitely wanted him and expected him, and didn't land with him. So that was a rough start to the season. And then you look at losing guys like Max Strus and Gabe Vincent. Vincent could have helped out really well. And we were doing all right in the regular season. Injury concerns were tough. Then you get Terry Rozier, which helps out tremendously. So it's like a roller coaster. It's going from C plus to B minus for me. I think that grade's really going to determine how they do in the play-in. If we can get into the playoffs, it's not a guarantee we will. We should, but if we can somehow go and beat Philly, then I think it's for sure a B plus. But if we don't make the playoffs, it's definitely a C minus or a C. So I think it's just a tilting scale with that grade. If the season was ending right now today, I would probably go with the B plus, but it could, or I'm not B plus, but B minus, but it could easily drop to the C plus C just in a drop of a dime. So D'Lo, I'll give you a few minutes to go on your rant.
Oh no, I'll only take a couple. I'm a harsh critic. This season a solid D for me, man. Solid D. I wanted to give it a D plus, but I couldn't do it in my heart. As a team who just came off the finals and who made no moves of what was supposedly supposed to have a better team, and only having 3 more wins, and 3 shabby wins at that. Like, I wouldn't even say they were like, oh, this is the 3 wins to put us over the hump. No, these are 3 shabby wins, man. Like, this is probably the most uninterested I've been in a season in a while. Like, up until Tyler got hurt from Jaren Jackson Jr. the first time, like I was locked in, dude. We were doing so great. Tyler was on the rise to be a 25-point per game scorer. Like, everything was going so well, dude. And it just went to poop. Like, nobody could stay healthy. Nobody could stay consistent. Like, Spo lost his mind for a little while. Like, and we were just losing random games we shouldn't have lost. Like, just off doing things we weren't supposed to do. All right. We have one style of play, and if we play that way, we always win. You can see it on the floor. You can see it in the guys' faces. When we're having fun, it always works, man. But I didn't see a lot of that this season. All right. It was real rough. All right. I saw a lot of lackadaisical Jimmy Butler, man. That's what I saw. And quite frank, sick of it just a tad. We'll see how I feel in about,
Less
I
than
don't know,
48
maybe
hours.
I was
Tomorrow.
going to say that and a month. We'll see how I feel after that. All right. You know, the good thing is there's a lot of room to improve. You got a lot of room to make it better, man. But
So D'Lo's,
other than yeah,
D'Lo's
exactly. Other than
failed this year, but that final grade's worth 60% of your final. So that D could jump to a B real quick.
it could.
Yeah.
I was just real concerned on how we look. Like, I know we had a better roster top down, but it was just like somehow it just wasn't working. Like, Caleb Martin regressed. Like, honestly, that's the only person I can really say who I think in my head regressed from the last time I saw him at a peak form. I mean, I would say that. I mean,
It was that injury,
he
man. It was that injury in the beginning of the season.
Injuries hit us hard, and nobody mentioned it. Nobody.
Nobody did.
Nobody's like, hey, man, I know the Heat were just in the finals and they look a little rough, but give them a bit of credit, man. Their whole roster is fooey. Like, I don't know, man, but D with a lot of room to improve, and I'm hoping to see that improvement. There we go.
Well, we're only 48 hours away from possibly seeing that improvement when the Heat go into Philadelphia to take on the 76ers for a chance at the 7 seed to play the New York Knicks. A loss would put them in a game Friday hosting either Chicago or Atlanta. We played Chicago for the 8th seed last year. Could it happen again? Let's briefly talk about the play-in Wednesday night Heat Sixers. We all know who we're picking. But what are the keys to victory against this hot Sixers team since Joel Embiid came back? Let's go with Chris this time. What are the keys to victory?
Contain Maxey, please. Contain Maxey. Let him do his work. I don't care, but contain Maxey. He can easily get to the paint however he would like and just score. Oh my God, that was tough to watch the other game for the regular season. We could not stop him. I don't understand. We really could not. I don't care about Tobias Harris. He sucks. But aside from that, I mean, the team is all right. I'm not worried about anyone else but Embiid, honestly. Aside maybe from Kyle Lowry and his threes that he makes all of a sudden,
He only hits important ones, man.
He only hits important ones.
Like when he was with us, everybody's like, "Oh, he's washed." I was like,
No.
he just hits the important shots only.
Exactly. It's terrible, man. It's terrible. But yeah, contain Maxey. That's all I can say.
Contain Maxey. Jermaine says, I have us losing both play-in games. They haven't won a single important game this season. I hope not. But there's a possibility of it. Yadek, what's the keys? Is it as simple as containing those two?
I think it's as simple as containing Embiid. You know what I'm saying? Maxey, in my opinion, is a great player, man. You can't discredit what he has done this season. But if you notice in the last game, as much as Maxey went off, Embiid probably played for 31 minutes, and at one point he only played 29 when he got off for the fourth quarter, and in 29 minutes he scored 29 points. So that's a big problem if we're not going to be able to contain a guy like Embiid, who actually, given the injuries, had an MVP season. As you could tell, he was injured. He didn't play a lot, so that took him out of the course for the MVP. But he was having an MVP season. And as you could tell, when he finally came back, this team has been going off. You have to give the credit to Embiid. So a 7-footer that actually Bam was able to take care of during the Sixers and Miami Heat run in 2022, he's the key for us taking this victory. Making sure that we actually, in my opinion, contain Embiid. And I'm not saying let Maxey do his work because we know he's capable of, but Embiid is the heart and soul of this team, if I'm going to be honest. And if we make sure he does, if we make sure we contain that to an extent, I feel like we have a great chance. I feel like we just need all our guys on board, basically. Offensively, I believe it'll take care of itself now. It'll take care of itself. I know we struggle here and there, but when we have a guy like Tyree, not Ty, I was about to say Tyrese. When we have a guy like Tyler Hero, who finally came back and is going, doing his thing. Jimmy in the playoffs, we know it's starting on Wednesday, and Bam doing his thing in defense and showing why he should be the defensive player of the year when he locks up Embiid is going to be our reason why we win this game and have our ticket punched to the playoffs. So, yeah.
All right, Miles D'Lo.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned a lot of defense. I think we can implement some zone defense to help out with Maxey and Embiid, them doing the pick and roll. I think we need to double and trap Embiid as much as we can. Obviously, we mentioned Bam Adebayo, how great of a defender he is, but don't leave him on an island. Have Jovic kind of carry over, even get Jimmy. What was it, 2020 when Embiid was trying to hold the ball? Jimmy poked it from behind and Tyler hit the big shot. So I think we can trap him a little bit, force the guys like Tobias, Kelly Oubre, Nick Batum, Buddy Hield, make those guys beat us. Contain Maxey as well as possible with DeLon Wright, I think, especially if Terry Rozier is unable to go. Use DeLon to guard Maxey, match that quickness. On offense, we're going to need a Jimmy takeover. I think we're going to get it, but, I mean, we just need pure aggressiveness, drawing fouls, pump fakes, getting all the way to the rim. A lot of times he's driving in, he's beating his guy, but he's kind of pulling up from the midi and jumping in the air and passing out to the shooters. I would like to see him get deeper penetration and get to the rack, put up some shots there. Tyler's confidence, he's looking good. He's looking good as ever. I think some fresh legs. So Tyler's going to need a big game. Obviously, Bam, I would like to get some more pick and roll, getting Bam those opportunities for alley-oops and quick cut dives. I think we saw it in those two games against Toronto. Tyler throwing some lobs. I would like to see more of that. But yeah, double team Embiid. We can't let him take over. Jimmy, we're going to need the playoff Jimmy to come out early, play in Jimmy Wednesday night, and I think we'll be able to get the job done. And New York, y'all better watch out. I know you're rolling a high road right now, but we're coming. We're coming.
All right, D'Lo.
Right there, buddy. We're right there knocking. Hello. Let us in. My keys to the game. Let our stars be our stars, man. If Jimmy can't guard Tyrese Maxey, I think his age is past him. His ankles aren't as proficient as they used to be. Thanks, Josh Hart. But if we can just hold Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid and just let everybody else beat us, we'll be dandy. We'll be perfectly fine. Jimmy and Bam have a good game, and defense has played well on Embiid and Maxey. We're going to be stellar. We're going to be perfectly fine. Of course, others have to chip in and do their part, hit their open shots, play defense as well. But if our stars become our stars, I mean, mainly the spotlight is on Bam. If Bam can hold Embiid to 25, that's a good night to me. All right. Excuse me. Exactly. If Bam can get his offensive and defensive game down to a T, like he needs to have like a stellar game. I just need us to win. I can't fathom us having to go against Chicago again for a second playing game. So, Bam and Jimmy need to do their things, and we need to play defense. That is all.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with everything said. You got to contain Maxey. You got to contain Embiid. For the Heat, I think it's as simple as not settling for the three ball. I feel of late we've been living and dying by the 3-point line, and it's not helped us. That game against Philly was a big example of that, where we were living and dying by the three when we were ahead. And that's not what we should be doing. You need to attack Embiid to get him in foul trouble. He's still injured. He kind of bumped his leg the other night. I know they're hot, but you need to attack. You need to get to the basket, and you need to protect the 3-point line on defense. Maxey can shoot the three ball. Buddy Hield coming off the bench can shoot the three ball. Kyle Lowry can get hot from three. Joel Embiid can get hot from three. Tobias Harris can shoot the three ball. They're in Philly. They're going to try to get a spark from the crowd. They're going to be trying to shoot that three ball. So if we can defend the 3-point line and not live or die by the 3-point line, I think the Miami Heat will come out victorious. And what does that mean when we're not living and dying by the three? That means more Bam Adebayo. That means more Jimmy Butler because we're attacking the rim, and that's what we need. So that is my keys to victory for the Heat. And less than 48 hours.
If my fault to interrupt you guys, if I may say one more thing before we switch subjects, I noticed in that last game too, which was really wild to me, is that one other key take that I think somebody did say is Jimmy Butler. But what we need is, as much as Jimmy Butler is getting better from shooting at a 3-point line, is he needs to get back to his roots and remember who he was when we needed him the most, which was be more aggressive. At one point in that Philly game, we had Kyle Lowry guarding Jimmy Butler, and I was bamboozled by the fact that we didn't let him play. We didn't let him work against him. We know that Kyle Lowry is a smart guard who probably knows most of Jimmy Butler's move, but he can't handle Jimmy Butler. So if we see that matchup for some reason, I hope they don't hesitate to give Jimmy Butler the ball. We know it's his time of the year, but I was really bamboozled when I saw that matchup at one point, which is basically in the end of the game where we were slipping away our victory and ended up losing that game. I was really like, I don't even know if God could find a way to give this message to the Heat, and watch that tape. But at one point when that matchup was happening, I was madly upset that we didn't run the ball through Jimmy. I think we were still giving it to Rozier, and like you said, we were living and dying by the 3, which needs to change in this game because this would be a good thing for us to win this game, and let's and try to beat them Knicks. But first things first is to finish business in Philly. So.
Yeah, we want Heat Knicks. We want the Heat as the 7 seed. We don't want to play Boston because they are mad. They were angry that we took away their chance to go to the finals last year, and especially for how great of a season that they are playing with. So Heat Sixers Wednesday evening, 7:00 Eastern time in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Real quick, in the comments, Tiki Monster is asking, where is everybody from? Everybody's from Florida, or D'Lo, you're from Baltimore, right?
Heck no, buddy.
No, where are you from, D'Lo?
I'm from California. I currently reside in the state right above Florida.
Okay, all right. I thought maybe we said that before, but everybody else is Florida, right?
Yeah.
Miami-Dade, man.
Yep. So
Right there,
I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm not up north. I'm in the state that Philadelphia is in, and I hate Philadelphia more than anything in my life. So I'm a Heat lifer, for almost 20 years now. So it's going to be a big game. So unfortunately, we are out of time for this week's podcast. But I want to thank D'Lo, Chris, Miles, and Yadek for joining this week, and thank you guys for listening in here on YouTube Live. We are excited for this Heat playoffs to finally come. Let's get in. Let's not have any drama. Let's just win on Wednesday. Let's take a deep breath and let's get to it in Miami. So thank you guys for listening in. Thanks for joining, and let's go Heat. Heat playoffs, white hot Heat. Let's get it.
Go.